Newcastle fans, look away now. Arsenal fans, pay attention. Manchester United fans, listen in. Bruno Guimarães. We didn't think there'd be any movement around the Brazilian this summer with everything else going on at Newcastle, but it seems the Newcastle captain has also kicked off behind the scenes at Newcastle. St James's Park is in absolute implode meltdown mode right now. A link between Arsenal and Bruno Guimarães has been reported by Fabrizio Romano, an apparent 55 million starting offer to take the Brazilian to the Emirates Stadium. Manchester United have been linked and spoken to the agents of Bruno before. I'm just going to say this before we get into this video on everything that's been said. But if there is any opportunity to bring Bruno Guimarães to Old Trafford, Manchester United's hierarchy need to be all over this. This is the type of player that changes teams. This is the type of player that takes teams to that next level, to winning the league. Why do you think Arsenal are looking at Bruno Guimarães? They want to take that next step into competing for the Champions League. They have competed, obviously, because they're getting to the final, but going that one step further, that extra engine, that extra leader in that side. This is the opportunity that Arsenal have got with how successful they have been, the squad that they have already got. To go for Bruno Guimarães with the midfield that they have already got would be the best squad depth in the Premier League in midfield, bar none. You can forget about Manchester City signing Elliot Anderson, having Rodri, having Reinders, having Gonzalez. This Arsenal midfield would definitely be up there. Mentioning Liverpool then, I mean, which other Premier League club would not be interested if Bruno was on the market? Now, Romano has dropped the bomb, which is obviously that 55 million starting offer for Bruno. Now, obviously, that kind of is the ballpark figure. That's sensible, and that's probably what market value is. But as we know, with everything else that's gone on so far this transfer window, Newcastle are not going to budge on 55 million. Even if you put 10 million add-ons and take this to 65, I think Newcastle would still hold out for this. The latest reports are that they want Bruno to sign a new contract. They want to keep him. But there are lots of rumours going around in the background, and Newcastle fans are talking about this as well. So it's not like this is new and this is something that has just been made up just to compound the misery of Newcastle fans. Bruno Guimarães is unhappy. Who wouldn't be? Have you seen what's going on at the moment? Gordon gone. Tonali wanting out. Livramento links away. Lewis Hall links away. No one coming in to really replace the bigger stars that have already been sold by Newcastle. They're in trouble with UEFA for financial fair play. They're trying to cheat the system in that breach of financial fair play rules with UEFA. There's so much going on. They're giving Eddie Howe the power again to another season after an absolute disastrous last season. He has ceilinged out Eddie Howe. We've talked about this before. So why would Bruno Guimarães leave? For all of them reasons. And for Bruno, at the age he is, hitting his late 20s now, you can see why he would want out of Newcastle. United need to be all over this. This is the type of player that you would replace Casemiro with. If Arsenal get him, then I would say that that's them then looking at being favourites for the league title again, straight out. I'm not seeing it eclipses Elliot Anderson and what Manchester City have done. Obviously, longevity. Elliot Anderson's going to be there for longer, but Bruno he's not anywhere near the end of his days yet in terms of his football career. He's still got another 4 or 5 years out of him. And if Arsenal bring him in and he has a successful period in that time, then Arsenal are favourites. I'm sorry. Bruno Guimarães, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, name the other midfielders there. Lewis Skelly's obviously another option. Norgard's another option there. You've got real depth there in the Arsenal squad if they get Bruno. Look, Newcastle are standing firm. Let's just make that very, very clear. Newcastle do not want to sell Bruno Guimarães, and I don't blame them. But why would Bruno want to stay? He could now kick up a stink. And what can Newcastle fans, what can Newcastle's board actually say against Bruno Guimarães? How could they go against him and say, you can't leave now? Well, he could simply come back and say, well, what are you doing? I want to actually achieve something in my career here. He's playing in the World Cup with a brilliant Brazilian side at the moment. He's seen all of these other players go to bigger teams and compete for trophies. He's got that one trophy, yes, the League Cup, but every player wants to be playing at the top level. Newcastle are yo-yoing in and out of the Champions League. They're not sustaining any sort of significant charge or improvement. It's one season on, one season off, and that for big players is not enough. That's why Tonali wants out. That's why Hall would consider a move away, even though he's a die-hard Newcastle fan. Players like that actually thinking about moving is one thing. Your captain now actively looking for a move because of things that are going on is the alarm bell ringing for Newcastle right now. Bruno Guimarães, if he came to Man United, I just want to say this now, That's United confirmed Champions League next season and having a good run in the Champions League. That's how important a signing that could be. I just never brought Bruno up because I never thought that Newcastle would sell him, and I still don't think Newcastle would be open to anything. If anyone's going to take Bruno, Newcastle are going to absolutely fleece them because Tonali wants out already. Gordon's gone. They can't get rid of that many players. Realistically, I'm just going to be totally honest here. If there was a chance, you go and make this happen. Newcastle are not going to make this easy for anyone. And United have their prices and their valuations. So as much as I would like this to happen, 55 million gets me interested with Newcastle. If that's the bid, like Romano says, that Arsenal have gone in with anyway, that should be everybody full attention on this. And why have Arsenal gone in with that price? Before we carry on, today's video sponsor is Oxford Natural. Now look, we're all football fans, we're all guilty of it. Match days, takeaways, sat there all weekend watching and binge watching all the football on the TV, waiting for the latest transfer news and breaking news to come through about our clubs. And before you know it, looking after yourself gets pushed down the list. That's where Oxford Natural's Optimum Day and Night supplements come in. First of all, you have Optimum Day, designed around energy and cravings and helping keep people on track. Then you have Optimum Night, based more around sleep and helping people recover properly. Nobody's saying it's magic, nobody's saying it's going to do the work for you, but with a commitment to making positive changes, some people have seen some impressive results. Take, for instance, former England striker Michael Owen, who lost £35 on his day and night plan. You can check out Michael Owen's story alongside many others on the link below. If you're thinking it's about time I sorted myself out, then it is definitely worth giving it a go. The QR code is on the screen. The link is in the description. Make sure you use code ADAMFC on checkout to get 70% off your first order. Now back to the football. Arsenal have gone in with that price simply because the agent of Bruno Guimarães would have been talking to different clubs, eyeing up potential moves for his clients. This is what's happened. This is exactly the same thing that happened with Sandro Tonali. Agents talk, agents obviously pass on information. They know everything that's going on with every single club, and there is clearly unrest behind the scenes with Bruno Guimarães, and he's looking now because of everything that we've just said. All his best players are going from around him. His future at Newcastle brings no trophies. Does it jeopardise his place in the Brazilian squad? He's thinking, maybe I've got one more World Cup here. If I'm playing at the highest level in a team that's winning things, I've got a better chance of getting into that Brazilian squad. Look what's happened with senior players like Casemiro into his 30s, with Neymar into his 30s. One more World Cup for Bruno Guimarães. If he's at Newcastle, then he's not competing in the Champions League. He's not competing at the highest level. I want out. And it depends how far he's willing to push, because he loves Newcastle. The Newcastle fans love him. He loves the city, everyone in that club. And look, I'm going to be realistic with this here. Like I said before, I don't see Newcastle selling Bruno Guimarães. And the talk of the new contract coming in is probably Newcastle going to give him the world. They're going to have to. They're going to have to make him a ridiculous offer to stay. Because if you're looking at this from the player side of things, forget your loyalty to Newcastle if you're a Newcastle fan right now. What's keeping Bruno Guimarães at Newcastle apart from the love for that club? If he wants to achieve anything, he's got to move. If he's happy, he loves the lifestyle, and that's it for him, sign that contract, because that's the last contract that he will ever sign in the Premier League in top flight football. That's what he's thinking right now. He's at that age, and this is why this is important and why clubs are sniffing. Because if Bruno hands in a transfer request, Newcastle are in massive trouble. Yes, they might get the bid, but how are you even going to replace Bruno Guimarães when all the players that are already on the market will probably be gone by the time you have drawn this out and had to give in selling him? This is going to develop and is going to get very, very interesting. We didn't see it coming. We didn't think that it would be Tonali, Gordon and Bruno. But if Bruno pushes, what do Newcastle do here? This is a big, big story. Let me know what you think. Get into the comment section, everybody. Give me your thoughts on this. Would you go big? Would you go? How much would you go for Bruno Guimarães? What is he actually worth? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button as well if you're enjoying the content. And of course, hit the subscribe button here on AdamFC. I'll see you all in the next video.